It's the battle of the billionaires. Kind of like if Tony Stark went up against Batman. There's a good chance there'll be some explosions. Okay, well, not really. But these two eye-watering rich mega entrepreneurs have the bankroll, power, resources, and know-how to do some truly incredible things. So, what makes Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos tick? Are they the same when you take away the money and influence? What sets them apart as people and as business tycoons? Stick around and find out. Welcome to Mind Talk, where all brains matter. If you're new to the channel, you're going to want to head on over and hit that subscribe button. If you're ready to have your mind blown, ring that notification bell as well so you will never miss another video. In this episode of Mind Talk, we'll be checking out Elon Musk vs Jeff Bezos. Who will win the battle of the billionaires? And who would you pick behind you in a startup? Are you ready? Here we go. The men, the myths, the legends. Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are both visionary entrepreneurs who are widely successful in any venture they choose to pursue, and their success is largely attributed to their relentless innovation. Elon Musk is the mad scientist, self-made billionaire whose ambitions know no bounds or limitations. Elon's been the brains and bank account behind some of the world's most innovative companies like SpaceX and Tesla, and some of the loftier futuristic organizations like Starlink and Hyperloop. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, is the mastermind behind the multinational technology company Amazon.com, a company that transformed both e-commerce and logistics as we know it today. The company was the second business in history to be valued at over $1 trillion. Money, money, money. Speaking of money, to date, Bezos remains his title as the richest man in modern history, according to Forbes Wealth Index, with an eye-watering net worth of $176 billion US. Elon Musk's $69.2 billion US only looks small next to Jeff Bezos' bank account. But starting with PayPal, Musk has invested in and built dozens of companies from the ground up. Looking to the stars. On planet Earth, Elon Musk is creating a sustainable energy economy and revolutionizing human transportation. In his spare time, he is pioneering space exploration, with his end goal being to colonize Mars with at least 1 million people in the next century. Coincidentally, from a young age, Bezos also dreamt of a future with interplanetary travel and colonization of space. During his graduation speech, he told the audience about his desire to colonize space, resulting in the preservation of Earth. In the early 2000s, Bezos launched his aerospace manufacturing company, Blue Origin, focused on lowering the cost of space travel. 2 years later, Musk would create SpaceX, a company also focused on solving the high cost of space exploration, with the end goal, Mars. While SpaceX has earned billions of government contracts to deliver payloads to the ISS and perform tests on their behalf, Blue Origin has been almost completely self-funded by Bezos, with the CEO apparently selling over $1 billion of Amazon stock per year to fund the company. He must be dedicated because in 2019, Blue Origin revealed their plans to colonize the moon. Personality matters. Elon Musk feels completely comfortable making bold, wild statements publicly that attracts a lot of attention. He doesn't concern himself with pleasantries because he doesn't care if people think he is arrogant, delusional, abrupt, or rude. The free-thinking eccentric has some usual quirks. Apparently, he wouldn't enter a building unless he circled it 3 times. He would also obsessively calculate the cubic root of every meal, dividing the mass of the food by its cubic root. And if the calculation was not a perfect cubic root, he would refuse to eat it. His obsessive-compulsive personality traits undoubtedly contribute to his overall determination and unwillingness to give up in the face of adversity. Jeff Bezos, however, is far more reserved and measured. He is a hardcore realist that takes business risks in a very calculated way. Not to say that he's afraid to be outspoken, but when he puts something out there and he launches a product, he already knows it is going to be successful, so he just sits back and reaps the reward of his hard work. Bezos' approach, however, is very pragmatic. Sure, he is already the richest man on planet Earth, so taking big risks is a little less of an issue than the average startup CEO. But he wasn't always at the top. He got there by designing a process for his business innovations that attempts to minimize both the risk and the rate of failures in Amazon by using a now famous customer-centric process known as working backwards. Instead of inventing, investing, and developing a new product and then trying to sell it to the world, develop a solution based on a consumer need or want and work backwards. Elon, however, sees the world very differently to Bezos and operates on a culture of preemptively innovating products that his customers didn't even know they needed or want yet. Both Musk and Bezos have an autocratic leadership style, but working for either of them will be a completely different experience. There are, like anything in this world, of course, good and bad reviews. But if you are to consider joining the cause, it is important for prospective employees to understand these misunderstood characters. Musk is undoubtedly a genius, inspiring both awe and fear in his employees. He has both incredibly high standards and great expectations of himself, expecting people, or at the very least his employees, to behave and conduct themselves in the same manner that he does. The truth is that we are all guilty of this at some time, but this can make working under Elon Musk very challenging. You will find there are very mixed reviews from his former employees. In saying that, he is also one to lead by example. He believes that no task is beneath him, and he has no problem getting his hands dirty. Elon is a machine, and while his employees are known to work extremely long hours, Musk is working double, if not triple those hours. This can definitely be detrimental to work morale, with employees feeling overworked and having no work-life balance. But the resentment cannot be completely thrust upon Musk. He is doing himself exactly what he expects of those around him. Elon has a strict hiring policy which includes no assholes. People either adore him for his intelligence, work ethic, grit, integrity, and his humanitarianism, or they struggle to deal with what could be described as his abrasive people skills. The end results in either people leaving his companies frustrated and deflated, or aspiring to achieve the same magnitude of greatness as him. In this case, both Bezos and Musk will agree that when they are determined to be a disruptive, forward-thinking inventor, you will be misunderstood the majority of the time, and you will have to be willing to sacrifice being liked and understood for innovation. Bezos also expects high standards from his employees, believing that work to a high standard is a skill that can be taught. He raises the bar simply through exposing a new employee to an already high-functioning team with high standards. Ultimately, this approach weeds out mediocre employees, and the rationale behind his exposure method is basically the exploration of a common universal insecurity known as not feeling good enough. Those employees that strive for perfection and validation will make adjustments to their behavior so they can perform at the same level. However, the success of his business is linked to his customer focus and obsession about the customer experience and long-term vision that he reportedly leaves an empty seat in every meeting as a symbolic reminder of the customer so that they always make decisions and develop ideas with the customer in mind. With high expectations and apparent disregard for creating a culture driven by employee satisfaction and retention, Bezos continues to lead in this way simply because it works. Billionaire beef. One would think that saving the world and running multinational companies with plans to colonize space would eat up a lot of your time. Well, apparently not. These two still set aside some time in their days to engage in the internet feud with each other. Competitors to the end, their dislikes of one another started to heat up in 2013 with a turf war over the use of NASA's launch pad, and Bezos was eventually triumphed. Then in 2019, Musk tweeted at Bezos calling him a copycat. The reason for the jab? Amazon's announcement of their plans to launch internet beaming satellites, which SpaceX had announced back in 2017 under the Starlink brand. Amazon has a long-standing reputation of throwing its weight around in different sectors and eliminating competitors who simply cannot compete with the e-commerce giant. This begs the question, is Bezos trying to eliminate Musk on his way to world domination? Or is this just incredibly competitive? The latest in the Bezos and Musk war ignited in June 2020 when a former New York Times reporter, Alex Berenson, released her book on Amazon titled Unreported Truths About COVID-19 and Lockdowns, Part 1, Introduction and Death Counts and Estimates. The author let the world know via social media that she was unable to self-publish her book on Amazon, and she had received information from Amazon stating that Due to the rapidly changing nature of the information around the COVID-19 virus, we are referring customers to official sources for health information about the virus. Please consider removing references to COVID-19 for this book. When Musk got wind of this, he was appalled at the censorship, and then he tweeted, "This is insane," at Jeff Bezos. Time to break up Amazon. Monopolies are wrong. Musk is passionate about free thinking, freedom of information, truth, and censoring information is completely unethical. Unsurprisingly, a few hours after the tweet, Amazon backpedaled and advised Berenson that they would publish her book, claiming that it was removed in error. Later the same month, Amazon purchased a tech startup called Zoox. The startup was founded in 2014, and their mission was to create completely autonomous, zero-emission robo-taxis, in a deal reportedly worth $1.2 billion. If the idea sounds familiar, it's because Musk's automated Tesla project has been in development for years. This prompted a second Twitter call-out for the Tesla tycoon, reiterating his first post, at Jeff Bezos is a copycat, haha. While the feud may be petty for the most part, it just feels like an unnecessary distraction. Imagine what these two minds could accomplish if they worked together. And that's it for Elon Musk vs Jeff Bezos. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and let us know in the comments who you think would win in the ultimate billionaire showdown. Who would you want behind you in a startup? Before you leave, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to check out all our other amazing videos. You've been watching Mind Talk, where all brains matter. See you next time.